What is up, guys? This is OG Ho and Champ here, and today I'm bringing you the team builder for week 6 already of the UBL. This league is just kind of flying by. But yeah, I was so hyped for this week's battle because we are going up against the Winston-Salem Watchhogs and Coach 13th Scorch. And if you guys remember, I actually did a collaboration with him a little while back. Um, I would have liked to do another one with him, but I don't really have enough time, and I feel bad. Um, but yeah, certainly check out his channel. I'm going to leave the link in the description. He puts up some really great content. So really, make sure you guys check it out. He's really great. But yeah, anyway, let's get into my thoughts on his team. So we start off with Volcanion. This Pokemon is really great in terms of special attack, and it has really nice natural defensive bulk. HP is pretty good. It lacks a little bit in special attack and special defense, rather, and attack. So it makes it a little bit frail on that side and very vulnerable to like earthquakes and really any ground type attacks, because most of them are physical. Also, rock type attacks do nice amount of damage. But yeah, mostly special attacks do a good chunk to him. The thing is, Volcanion also has the ability Water Absorb, which means it takes no damage from any water type attacks, uh, basically making them useless against it. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And also between Steam Eruption, Fire Blast, and coverage moves like Earth Power, Sludge Wave, it gets really nice coverage, and definitely something to watch out for. I don't think he's going to bring it against me, just because Venusaur does really well against it and can just basically set up and Giga Drain all day. But he might, because it does match up well against a lot of my other Pokemon. So next up is Mew. Now, Mew is a Pokemon I think he will be bringing just because it's so versatile. Like, you can get up rocks with it. You can run Knockoff, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, probably Draco Meteor if you really wanted to, Flash Cannon for fairies, then Psyshock, Defog, Roost, Will-O-Wisp, which is something I'm really scared of. Will-O-Wisp, especially defensive Mew. Definitely something I have prepped for. And yeah, you can run it physically offensive, specially offensive, physically defensive, specially defensive, really anything. And yeah, it's hard to predict what kind of Mew will come in a given week, but usually Mew does come. Next up is Thundurus T. Very strong special attacker. I think it has base 145 special attack and insane speed to take advantage of that. You get Volt Switch, Thunderbolt. No flying type stab except for Hidden Power Flying, so that's something to note. Although it still does a nice chunk of damage to Venusaur if I'm not running especially defensive. It also gets things like Dark Pulse, Focus Blast, if you want to run that. And yeah, it does have a bunch of coverage options. I think it gets Superpower also. And its ability is Volt Absorb. Not that that's going to do very well against my team. Volt Absorb is next to useless against most of my Pokemon, but still a thought, for sure. So next up is Cresselia. Sorry, I skipped Sylveon. Sylveon, really great special attacker, really great cleric, not good at doing both at the same time. So he's either going to bring like specially offensive with Life Orb or Leftovers or even Choice Specs, or he's going to bring the Leftovers with Wish, Baton Pass, maybe Calm Mind. So that's really up to him. Do I think he's going to bring it this week? Probably not, because unless he runs Psyshock, he can't really beat Venusaur. And things like Entei, things like even Terrakion just do really well against Sylveon. And Jirachi can 2-hit KO the bulky variant. So there's really no reason for him to bring Sylveon. I mean, he might, but I don't think he will. Next up is Cresselia. Really great physical or special wall. Pretty passive unless you run a lot of special attack investment. And anything that's immune to Toxic or Thunder Wave can set up against Cresselia and really put in the work. I mean, Cresselia can run the Calm Mind set, but then it pretty much has to run Moonlight. And that's already 2 of its attacks. And anything that will resist Psyshock and Moonblast and Shadow Ball, or any combination of the two, will still be able to do really well against Cresselia. So next up is Haxorus. Incredible setup sweeper. Something I gotta watch out for. Making sure he doesn't get rocks up, because Haxorus with stealth rocks up is really scary. If he has stealth rocks up, he could run just Dragon Dance and then pretty much take out most of my team with one of his coverage moves. I mean, this guy can even get Poison Jab for the fairy types, so really scary Pokemon. He might bring it. It's definitely an option for him. I think he will. I think he will. There's a good chance. Next up is Girder. Pretty interesting Pokemon. Runs a nice Eviolite set. Can have Bulk Up or just run priority with Mach Punch and Drain Punch and Bullet Punch. And it also gets access to Knockoff as well. Not the best Pokemon to bring against me, because it has no reliable recovery outside of Drain Punch. And I just have a lot of Pokemon that resist its attacks. And it can't do much to me, especially Venusaur. I mean, he can't even run Fire Punch or Ice Punch for Venusaur, so it just completely walls him out. So yeah, I don't think he's going to bring Girder this week. Next up is Dugtrio. Very scary Pokemon with Earthquake. Can take out offensive Jirachi in one hit, can take out offensive Terrakion in one hit, and comes very close to OHKOing stuff like Entei in one hit. So definitely a very scary Pokemon for trapping purposes. I'm really hoping he doesn't bring it because of my Venusaur. I just don't want him to have access to Dugtrio and be able to take out a lot of my offensive presence very easily. For sure. So yeah, next up is Sneasel. Really good Pokemon in its own right, and it does really well in certain matchups. It does not do well against my team. So I don't think he will bring it. I don't think he should bring it. But he could, to get rid of things like Jirachi, to get rid of things like Medicham if I choose to bring it. Honestly, even like with low kick, it can do a lot of damage to Terrakion. But things like Clefable just really beat it out very nicely. So I don't think he's going to bring Sneasel this week. A Pokemon I do think he'll bring, though, is Weezing. Really great physical response to a lot of my Pokemon like Terrakion, like Jirachi. Certainly, even Entei, it doesn't take much damage from. So definitely a Pokemon to watch out for, 100%. So let's see. Next up is Gogoat. Between Weezing and Gogoat, I don't think he's going to bring both. I think he'll bring one or the other, but he won't bring both. And here's my logic for this. That would be bringing 2 NU Pokemon, and I think there's a good chance he'll bring the third one, Dusknoir. But I think he'll either bring Weezing or Gogoat, because they're both very good physically, offensively, but Weezing deals better with things like Jirachi and Terrakion. Gogoat does well against Terrakion still, but also is able to handle Venusaur a lot better, and can set up bulk ups pretty freely. And Gogoat probably gets some coverage moves that'll allow it to beat out Venusaur, especially since Venusaur can't really touch it except for Sludge Bomb. Actually, considering that, I think Weezing is more likely to bring for him. But yeah, Gogoat, he likes to run the bulk up set, I've noticed. So if he brings it, I'll be sure to watch out for that. But on second thought, I don't think he's going to bring it. Next up is Dusknoir. Dusknoir? Yeah, okay, Dusknoir. Really, really great physically defensive Pokemon. Again, like he just has a really good defensive bottom tier Pokemon. Will-O-Wisp is scary. For sure, Pain Split for recovery. He can run Shadow Sneak or even just Shadow Punch, Earthquake. Typically, Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split, um, Shadow Sneak, and some sort of coverage move is usually the set. But outside of Will-O-Wisp, this thing gets completely walled by Venusaur. Again, I'm mentioning a lot of things that get walled by Venusaur, so you might be surprised at what's coming up. But last up is Pidgeot, Mega Pidgeot. And this thing is so incredibly strong. Max speed, max special attack, uh, with no guard Hurricane, just absolutely decimates a lot of my Pokemon. Along with Heat Wave as coverage and ability No Guard, which means none of his attacks can miss, and none of my attacks can miss either, while Pidgeot is out on the field. This thing is going to be like really tricky to try to get around, for sure. I'll show you guys what I'm planning for it, but certainly let's get into my team and what I'm bringing to deal with it. So, get out of here, ads. So we are bringing, and I didn't give them nicknames yet. Don't worry, they will have nicknames. So I'm bringing Terrakion, Jirachi, Clefable, Blastoise, Miltank, and Entei. So yes, I am bringing Life Orb Terrakion this week with Stealth Rock because Stealth Rock is very important, and I didn't really want to give it to any of my other Pokemon. Even though I have 4 Pokemon on this team that can learn Stealth Rock, I needed a couple other moves on all of them. So Terrakion, not looking to put in as much work as he usually does this week, but certainly still capable of dealing heavy amounts of damage. I mean, between Stone Edge, Zen Headbutt, and Close Combat, it just wrecks so many of his Pokemon. We have like Close Combat for anything that doesn't resist Stone Edge, as Stone Edge is the main attack, and OHKOs most of his OU threats. I can also outspeed everything except for the Mega Pidgeot, if anything's not scarfed. Certainly, and Zen Headbutt is mostly just for the wheezing, which otherwise would be able to take hits really well from me. But even at this max defense, wheezing only takes 40-50% from his Zen Headbutt, so getting up rocks is definitely going to be super important in this matchup, for sure. And yeah, max attack, Jolly Nature, max speed, to maximize speed and damage output. Next up is Jirachi. Substitute Psychic, Iron Head, Ice Punch. One of the things I'm super worried about this week is he has so many Pokemon that can learn Will-O-Wisp. And I know I have a feeling he's going to bring at least 1 or 2, knowing my physical threats like Terrakion and Jirachi. But this is a mixed Jirachi this week. And I don't know why I'm running Timid. I should be running Jolly. And the reason, even though I am running Psychic on Jirachi, Psychic, even at modest max special attack, does not OHKO, or barely OHKOs the wheezing. But even at a minus special attack nature, Jirachi will still be able to 2-hit KO wheezing with Psychic very easily, max defense. And if I get a substitute up, the only thing the wheezing could do is possibly Fire Blast, and that has a chance of missing. So he won't be able to Will-O-Wisp Jirachi, and I will still be able to get massive damage off with Iron Head and Ice Punch. So let me just update that I'm changing it to Jolly. Perfect. And yep, still 2-hit KO the wheezing. All right, and I'm bringing Iron Head for anything that doesn't that it does a lot of good damage against, and Ice Punch mainly for things like the Haxorus, mainly for things like the Mega Pidgeot, and for Thundurus. Now this thing does get walled pretty easily by Mew, so I'm going to have to watch out for that. Although Iron Head flinching could be a pretty good thing, and that's why I'm running max speed also. I should be running max speed to be able to speed tie max speed Mew, in case he wants to bring that. But for sure, I'm looking for Jirachi to really put in work this week. Jirachi is one of my win cons. Got to keep this thing healthy. Running leftovers to increase its survivability as well. Now, next is Clefable. Now, these EVs might look weird, but these are the recommended ones on the calculator I was using because I'm running the Calm Mind set this week. I was debating whether to run Calm Mind Clefable or Calm Mind Jirachi, but I decided Clefable is a better choice because it gets access to the Magic Guard and it won't be so hampered by burns that are going to be running rampant around this battle, I have a feeling. Yeah, so Calm Mind, Moonblast, Soft Boil, Flamethrower. After a couple of Calm Minds, nothing can really take a Moonblast. And Flamethrower is mainly for the Go-Goat, for the Wheezing, if he wants to bring those. And really for anything that might possibly resist Fairy type attack. I'm just going to check. He doesn't have any Poison types, I know. Let's see. Yeah, he really has no responses to Moonblast or Flamethrower. So definitely this is the set I'm planning on bringing. And yeah, so I'm putting a little bit of special defense investment, mostly so when I boost with Calm Mind, it does a lot. It boosts a lot of special defense as well, and certainly the only thing that really can one hit, like Oko me, not even Oko, like 2-hit KO, would be a Poison Jab from Haxorus, but even that, it's a long shot with the leftovers and everything. So definitely looking to put in some good work with Clefable this week. Set up maybe late game and just destroy the rest of his team. Next up is Blastoise. This should not be Blastoise night. Sorry about that. I do not have Mega Blastoise. Yeah, so leftovers, definitely. Yeah, so Torrent, because I'm not predicting rain this week. It's not very helpful at all. Yeah, Rapid Spin. This is going to be my main Rapid Spin Pokemon. Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, and Scald. So, pretty standard set. Max special attack to get the most damage output. This thing is really just around to get rid of hazards. Spread some damage, like Ice Beam against the Pidgeot, against the Haxorus, against the Thundurus. Scald to get some burns, maybe against the Dusknoir or something. And Dark Pulse to hit the Mew a little bit harder. Yeah. So next up is Miltank. Yes, I'm finally bringing Miltank this week. This is going to be with Sap Sipper in order to take hits better from the Go-Goat, should he choose to bring it. But there was no real need for Thick Fat this week. The only thing it would really help against is Mew if he decides to have Ice Beam, but he'll probably have fighting coverage. And Volcanion, which could just hit me with a Steam Eruption instead, which just... I'm not planning on keeping Miltank in anyway. But yeah, this is my main physical response to Pokemon, like Haxorus. Even in Outrage at +1, has just a chance to hit KO me. And I have Milk Drink for the survivability purposes. Seismic Toss, because I don't want to... If I take a burn, I'll be able to do more damage. Heal Bell to cure all my Pokemon of burns. And Toxic in order to hit anything that's not named Wheezing. And just stall that out. And also, Heal Bell also helps if I get a Toxic off on the Mew. And then Heal Bell off, so it'll just be taking damage and I will not. Which is wonderful. And finally is Entei. Assault Vest, Crusher, standard set. This needs to be shiny in order for this to work. And Adamant Nature. This is a set that I've run since the first week with one change. I'm not bringing Bulldoze because it has absolutely no use to me in this battle. Instead, I am bringing Crush Claw, which is a weird move. And you almost never see it being run on any Pokemon. but I decided I wanted to run Crush Claw this week, just because it would be fun. And it also helps me secure a couple 2-hit KOs. And here's the description for Crush Claw. 50% chance to lower the target's defense by 1. 75 power and pretty good accuracy. So if I could get a Crush Claw and get a defense drop, that'll open the way to 2-hit KO things like the Mew, like the Weezing even, like the Haxorus, which otherwise I would not be able to 2-hit KO. But mostly this thing is mainly around for absorbing burns, like Will-O-Wisps, absorbing special attacks like Hurricane, like Sludge Bomb, like even Psyshock or Thunderbolt, and using Sacred Fire and hopefully spreading some of those burns, like against the Haxorus, which I do not want setting up on me. That would be terrible. So anyway, guys, that's our team this week. And I'm really, really excited to go up against the Winston-Salem Watchhogs. I've been looking forward to this battle pretty much since the season began. So yeah, let me know what you think of the team. And hopefully your Sunkern will pull out with another W. And so, this has been OG Ho and Champ, and I will see you guys in the next video.